Watchdog on Wall Street. I call him a smart man, and Mr. Chris Markowski. He'll talk about earmarks and mark-to-market rules.
Picking on me again.
Of course, Timothy Geithner, the right-hand man of President Obama. And in front of the cameras, we hear applause as President Obama signs executive orders. But it's what he signed off camera behind closed doors that's drawing a lot of attention this morning. Joining us to sort it all out and out in the open is the Watchdog on Wall Street, Mr. Chris Markowski. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, no press conference for that yesterday when they were signing that. They had no pictures, no cameras, no nothing when signing that bill.
This is the $410 billion spending bill, which keeps the government running through September.
Yes.
You know, a lot of people are saying President Obama campaigned on reform of earmarks and stuff, and even as he's signing the bill, he's like, earmarks will no longer be important. Pay no attention to this hand, which is signing the bill that has billions of dollars.
I promise I'm not going to have a drink tomorrow. Yeah, it's just, he's still drinking it, and you know, nothing has really changed.
His claim, though, is, and the Democrats' claim, and by the way, this is not, to my mind, it's not really a partisan thing, because Republicans and Democrats earmark the heck out of everything.
I think it's almost a 50-50 split.
50-50 split. But Obama's claim is that this spending bill contained all these earmarks from the last legislative session before he took the ship. What do you think about that?
Well, there's actually earmarks in this bill that are the courtesy of Senator Barack Obama. So he has earmarks in this bill. They all do. People that are Hillary Clinton's got earmarks that she wrote into this bill last year.
Senator, right?
You know, people I think are starting to get a little tired of this. They can't understand. And then we all see the lists of where money goes. There's, you know, a couple $100,000 going to the Italian-American Museum in Little Italy, and you know, they list all these various different projects. My problem with this, I think we really need to have a constitutional amendment banning any type of earmark or pork barrel spending tied to any politician and them allowing to put their name on it. I can't stand when I drive by a post office or I go over a bridge and it's named after some politician. They didn't pay for it. We paid for it. Right. It should be dedicated to the taxpayers. So not the politician who took all my money and did it. It's
taxpayers down the bridge. Yeah. Now, but why does this persist? It persists. It's the power that it gives these guys, right?
I mean, think about it. I mean, the story yesterday about Pelosi being able to, you know, requesting G5 jets and the amount of power that goes with, you know, the richest country in the world, which is ours, and being able to divvy up trillions of dollars. They got the Forbes wealthiest man list coming out right now. That's nothing compared to the type of dollars that these politicians wield.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any chance that if President Obama is true to his word, that we can actually have some reform, like you suggested, any type of amendment? I mean, would this be possible sometime in our future, in, say, the next 4 years or so?
I would be very, very skeptical. I would highly doubt that.
Is it the type of thing, what can we do? Can we write our congressman? Can we do the letters? Can we get upset about it?
If you live in a district and you don't like earmarks and your politician, your congressman is bringing home earmarks, don't vote for him. It's as simple as that. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. I mean, a lot of people like these things. I wouldn't vote for a politician to bring them home.
We'll have more after this. Stay with us. We're back.
Look at Mitch's World. Oh, the movie? The Last House on the Left. That comes out this weekend. It's about a group of criminals that take over a home and terrorize a family. So basically, it's a commentary of the subprime mortgage crisis. Yeah! Oh, Markowski, a little financial jokes. Maybe you and I should do the big, tall, and really good-looking tour. I think I have a man crush on Markowski. We're talking about it.
Join the club. Another high-end designer is headed to Kohl's. We're going to tell you who next.
And woof woof. We're talking to the Watchdog on Wall Street about Bernie Madoff.
We're going to plug into the news on the newest Forbes list of billionaires.
Bernie Madoff is headed to court today. In fact, he is there already to face 11 charges related to his $65 billion plus Ponzi scheme. And another New York money type is starting to pull focus from Bernie. His name is Trump. Donald Trump. Here to talk all things Ponzi is the Watchdog on Wall Street, Chris Markowski. Good morning, Chris.
It's a booming business here in this country.
It really is. So Bernie Madoff is in court as we speak. He plans to plead guilty, but the big question is, will we ever find out where the money is?
Well, first and foremost, there isn't $60 billion stocked away somewhere, because there never was $60 billion. Everything was fabricated. They were all fake trades. He said he had this amount of money. A Ponzi scheme, money comes in and then money goes out. And as long as money continues to come in, they can keep the Ponzi scheme doing. And that's what this guy was fantastic at. He had political connections, buddies with all sorts of charities, got his name out there. So money always flowed in. When the market started to correct and people started getting a little bit nervous, well, that's when the house of cards fell apart. There there wasn't $60 billion. They're going to try to find some money here and there, but this guy, if he's that smart to pull this off for 30 years, whatever he has, it's hidden somewhere.
And you said something interesting about his plea and avoiding conspiracy.
Yes, he is not pleading to conspiracy, because if he does that, then he has to admit that his kids were involved, his wife was involved, and other people were involved. And of course they were involved.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think about the account statements that are going out the door, the fake trades. I mean, you would need to be like a super genius, Goodwill Hunting on steroids, to actually figure this thing out. It's impossible.
Yeah, of course. Okay, now what about Donald Trump? He's making news headlines for something which isn't getting a lot of attention right now.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess when you have a television show at night, I guess you can avoid attention when you're dealing with people's money. But this, I'm sorry, you know, people may like this guy, like his show. He's a crook. I mean, you're taking people's money, and this is, you know, middle-class people, $250,000 a pop to buy a house in Baja, California. It wasn't going to be one of those super luxurious towers, and you just walk away. $37 million. You just walk away from the entire deal. He's got real estate deals falling apart all over the country. He's got his casino that's falling apart. His television show's ratings are in the tank. I'm so sick and tired of seeing this guy and the way he puts himself up there. I mean, you're putting your name on something. You know, don't rip people off.
So it's kind of, it's a Ponzi
It's another
scheme.
Ponzi. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Except it's Donald Trump, so it's not a Ponzi scheme. And he said he's got good lawyers, so he could write it in that, you know, it's a real estate deal and it fell apart.
And the,
you took people's money.
Right. And the folks in Baja will never get their money back.
No, absolutely not. They're all
$400 million.
residents of Southern California.
And from all things food to all things financial, we're hanging out with our fiduciary fella, Mr. Chris Markowski, the Watchdog on Wall Street, back to answer your questions. Boy, you know, it's funny that we were just talking during that package there that's a lot like our debt situation right now. People just ate way too much.
What a segue. I didn't even think about that. Good job. Yeah, and that's what actually we're talking about a lot today in the chat room. People worried about, you know, I've got, you know, $15,000 in credit card debt, $28,000. What should I do? How can you help me? What can I do? Well, you know, the first step's the same thing as a diet would be. You first have to start eating less. You call it the Andy Campbell diet.
Yeah.
Eat less, move more.
Eat less, move more.
You're going to have to spend less and save more.
Yeah.
And more Americans are starting to do that. They're starting to pay down this credit card debt. There's obviously other steps you want to do. You want to approach your bank and say, hey, wait a second, that 24% interest rate, that's just not competitive. Maybe try to move your balance to another bank. Many different things you can do.
Right, and you also mentioned that you talked to some people in the chat room, and understandably, I want to say this, understandably, the mood a bit glum right now in the country because a lot of people are being laid off and a lot of people are losing their jobs. But, you know, I love your message on these kind of things. It's like, stop waiting for someone to save you, like the government and so forth, and go out and do it yourself. You're saying there's a ton of money out there for people that want to start a business.
Yeah, I'm a pretty big reader, and one of my favorite books, believe it or not, of all time is the Dr. Seuss book, Oh, the Places You'll Go.
There you go.
And there's a part in that book, and it talks about being in a waiting place, waiting for a train to go by, waiting for the fish to bite, waiting for all these various different things, waiting for a job. Here in America, you know, it's interesting. They just came out with the Forbes 400 list, and you take a look at all these people that are on this list. They didn't start out rich.
They all are self-made millionaires.
Well, not all, but a lot of them on there. Yeah, a lot of Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, all these people, they built their lives on their own. Go out and build your own career. Start your own business. Stop waiting for the government to provide something for you. I know sometimes it's tough medicine to take, and I want to sound like Anthony Robbins, but I tell my kids, just think, the worst swear word that they can say in my household is, I can't.
Right.
You can. You can do it. Everybody's going to always tell you you can't do something, you can't start your own business. You can, and there's more capital available today for you to do that than ever before.
The Small Business Administration gives these loans. I mean, and this is where we're putting the rubber to the road here. You can go out and you can get a hold of this money. If you have a decent credit rating, you can get a hold of this money and you can put together a business plan and go ahead and people will lend to you right now.
It's not the TARP, but the TALP program, which is involved with cars and student loans and also small business loans. There's more money for the SBA loans right now than ever before. So if you ever dreamed about starting your own restaurant, your own coffee shop, your own bookstore, now's the time to do it.
All right, great stuff, Chris.